and welcome to the GGRated podcast. With your host, I'm Joshua Gray, and this is the other host,
Dino. I appreciate you having me on again, Gray. I appreciate it as always.
Absolutely, my friend, because it's your podcast too. So,
yeah, I'm glad you're keeping me on. I'm glad it hasn't been kicked off yet. There we go.
Well, then it would just be called like G-rated, and that would be weird.
Hey, it kind of goes with G Ray. You know what I mean?
Today, we're talking about Shadow of the Colossus, or Shadow of Colossus. An excellent game from my childhood, I say. Well, I say childhood. It's like 2005 when it came out, right?
2005. I've never played it. Gray came to me and was like, "Hey, let's think about this next game." I said, "Hey, look, throw something my way." He said, "Shadow of the Colossus." I've never played. I've heard a lot about it, especially from him. So I'm coming in this thing fresh, and we gave a great. We did a GG rating on it, so I'm excited for y'all to see what we thought about it.
Yeah, and you've gotten through how many of the Colossi now? Like four or five?
Like four. Yeah.
Nice. And I've been playing it on and off this year again on a PlayStation 2 emulation on my Steam Deck on a PCSX2, and I've been really enjoying it and finally decided to beat it before we actually had the podcast. So I was probably on Colossi number like 12 or 13 or something before this week. So I beat a few this week and finally got to the last one like yesterday. I finally beat it. And I'm going to talk total, about right? that. I believe it's 16 total Colossi of all different shapes and sizes, baby. It's really cool. But
I played on the Steam Deck as well, so I'm excited to share with everybody. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, man. How's your week been, buddy?
Well, it's still hot. Just like I said last week, it's still hot here in Alabama. But it's been fun. We went house shopping and bought a huge mirror. And tried to put it on the wall. Did not work out, so we ended up securing it kind of to the top of a bookcase. But made the wife happy. Hey, that's get the brownie points, right?
Absolutely.
What about yourself, man? Had a good week?
Oh man, yeah, it's been a crazy week of just working overtime and trying to squeeze this game in when I get some extra time. And man, I know I bring it up all the time, but the Steam Deck is like so good for that kind of thing. If you want to jump in and jump out of games and try to beat some games, it's really handy
I think
in that aspect.
You recommended that to me even with this, and I've learned that I ended up putting this on what Emu Deck, not Emu Deck, emulation station that's on Steam Deck, and I've been playing it on there and. Just having the moments that you do, the hour or two to be able to play this game, I think it kind of works out really well with our schedules, especially night shift. We're both on night shift right now. So
right. Yeah. So my church was hosting the Sound of Freedom movie. And after church, I left and I had to go kill some time before the actual movie started. Because if you didn't know, my church used to be a movie theater. So they can host movies and stuff. It's really cool. And
that's pretty cool.
So I had about 2 hours to kill or less. So I went by the Starbucks here and decided to play some Halo Infinite while I waited on my Steam Deck. So that's just another reason, like, it's cool. And by the way, The Sound of Freedom was excellent. Very good movie.
I watched it as well. I mean, it's huge. I'm not gonna lie. It gets you caught up in the feels. In the fields. But if y'all haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, guys. I really highly recommend it. Great movie.
That's right. It was great. But anyways, are you ready to get into this thing?
Let's go, man. Let's get it.
All right. First thing is favorite gaming moment of the week. All right. So my gaming moment included me playing Shadow of Colossus. I was playing Shadow of Colossus, and my wife and my kid were there. I had the Steam Deck docked, so I could play it on the big screen. And He and my oldest son have played the game before. We were beating Colossus together, and so he knew kind of like what I was playing and what was going on. And it was a cool part at a certain Colossus that you fight. I won't say where, or when. I don't want to spoil the game if our audience hasn't played it before. But during one of the battles, trying to get to him, you have to dodge some projectiles he throws at you. The whole scene was so well done, man. The way the ground shaked, and you had to go down in this cavern to try to get, like, to try to flank
Yeah.
around him. And it started to shake, and dust is flying off the walls, and it was really spectacular, especially for a PlayStation 2 game. Like, it's crazy because I was
You
playing.
have to remember that too.
Yeah, you
PlayStation
do.
2.
They actually remade this game for PlayStation 3 and 4, but I was playing on the PlayStation 2 version. It still looks incredible. The boss fight was pretty epic. You have to climb up him and hit points on his body for his hands to come to you. Then you go to different arms and have to use your bow to make him grab his shoulder so you can jump to it. The whole thing was really great, and you were on the edge of falling the whole time. It was really spectacular, and it like made my butt flex every time I was about to fall. Like I would go, have those moments where you kind of pucker up. It was
You have to
really
start
great.
all the way back over because if you fall, it's like you don't give up, but you're like, oh, you
Yeah,
want
you're
to pull
like,
your
oh
yeah.
man. Yep. So that was my gaming moment. How about you, buddy?
Man, it was actually is the other night. Like I said, I grew up with sports. Well, so I've been using I got rid of my Xbox and got my PC, so I use XCloud on my PC to still play a lot of my Xbox games. So I've been playing some MLB The Show. Me and Derek, since we was young, it's one of Gray's friends as well, and mine. They went to our school. Well, we decided to play a little MLB The Show 23, and I'm on the cloud. He's on his Series X, and we got to playing very competitive every time, low scoring game. We played with each other for so long that you kind of guess what you're going to do. You know what pitch is being thrown. You know what you're about to do. So you try to play mind games the whole game, just trying to trick them and throw them off. Well, it's a low scoring game and something I've never seen happen in any sports game happen. And we kind of had a very long chuckle about it. But Ronald Acuna's from the Atlanta Braves, which is a well-known baseball player, ends up dropping a pop fly, allowing 2 of his runs scoring. And I thought it was an out. And Derek's the whole time laughing at me, saying, "Dude, he dropped it. He dropped the pop fly." And I'm like, "Man, you gotta be kidding me. This is like 11:30 at night. We're just sitting here. It's quiet." I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." I'm freaking out. So I get done complaining, do the whole complaining, oh, this computer, the normal stuff that we always say.
Sure.
The next at bat, Gray, the next one, he does the same thing. He drops another pop fly. And I couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. We were shaking our heads, Usually there's a strike missed or something like that from the umpire. But it was just one of those moments where you don't usually get very often that doesn't happen, that you think it's an automatic out. And it happened to one of the best players, and it just happened randomly, and we got a pretty good laugh about it. So that was definitely a pretty fun gaming moment.
Dude, that's funny, and it's awesome that the game actually programs things like that in, so it happens.
It's really not neat. Awesome, but yes, it is awesome.
I mean, it's something. Yeah, dude. Obviously, it's pretty awesome. It's your gaming moment of the week.
yeah.
Yeah, but I totally get you. Awesome, but not awesome. That's funny, man. Oh gosh, I love it. All right, well, let's get right into the news. What you got for me, big dog?
All right, so the news for this week, I got something coming your way involving PlayStation. We talked Xbox, we talked PC, we talked Steam Deck, we're talking the PlayStation, okay? The newest news that's came out is they have a new division, a new thing coming out called Cronus, okay? It's the code name for his cloud gaming expansion plan, which is going to be a direct competitor of xCloud, which I just spoke of. Sony is looking to grow its cloud gaming footprint with 28 new gaming centers, which aims to launch more broadly in the spring of next year. So that kind of lines up. If you remember, they announced not too long ago the Project Q handheld, which is going to be a cloud only device. Now, rumors are pointing out that this device is going to be kind of like an Android tablet. It has not been finalized yet. They showed it off, but you don't know what the software is going to look like. But we do know it's going to be cloud based. So this might be when they announce this is when they're going to announce the Project Cronus, which is their cloud gaming service, which is going to be a direct competition to Xbox. Ensure it doesn't support cloud right now, but future versions could conceivably do so. Sony also recently detailed its plan to begin bringing PlayStation 5 games to its PlayStation Plus cloud streaming service that they do have right now. Okay. And wow. Yes, while it remains far behind the Xbox Game Pass cloud service, xCloud, in terms of content, breathing features, the gap is rapidly closing. The question I have with this news, because I believe it's huge news, okay, for the future of gaming, do you think this is something that Xbox is letting slip away from them to let PlayStation take a ground hold of? Because they're speaking of 4K cloud gaming. Right. Xbox has still been able to pull that off yet. Do you think it's something for Xbox to worry about?
I don't really think so, man, because I honestly don't know how they're going to get that to work well. And because you lose a lot, when you're trying to stream something like that. I don't know. I mean, and I feel like everybody is so invested in the Xbox Game Pass ecosystem because they're on PC too. And PlayStation doesn't have a lot going on PC as far as games that you can download directly and play directly. I mean, they have where you can stream and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping they kind of pull some things off to where it's like a viable thing if there's a PlayStation title that I would really like to play, but I don't see it overcoming Game Pass, no.
No, I don't see so. I think Game Pass is about to make a next step, but I will say this, Grant, if you agree with me on this, just to end on this topic, is cloud gaming is going to be the future of gaming. It's not going to have disc anymore come this next generation. It's not going to have where you're having to download these games. It's going to be the cloud. It's all depending on the latency that they can figure out. And it's all going to be depending on where they can distribute these games, right? And Xbox has a step up right now, but PlayStation obviously knows this is a field that they need to go head on with. And I believe it's going to be a big thing. So
yeah, I think so too, man. It's crazy to kind of think about where things are going to end up as technology moves forward, and you still have the back and forth between the two titans that are Sony and Microsoft. So I wonder where the gaming wars are gonna what's gonna be the next big thing. It's very interesting.
We shall see in the next year.
We shall see, man. Thanks for that news. That's really cool.
No problem.
No problem, bro. All right. Well, next section, we're going to get into our GG rating of Shadow of Colossus. Let's go! Let's go, indeed. First, I'm going to break down what our GG rating is. Our GG rating is a rating that we... that we have for games. No, it is
that was genius, dude. That was just genius.
No, it is the standard for is this a good game or not. We're gonna break down all kind of things. We're gonna break down graphics, music, story, gameplay, and fun factor, and put all those together, average it out, and that becomes our GG rating. Is it a good game? Is it not? We'll let you be the judge after you hear our reviews. So right now.
Yes. Guys, I just want to make sure that we point out we're casual gamers, just like the majority of gamers. Okay, we're not the pro gamer. We are the casual gamers that are judging and giving this GG rating. That's like Gray said, this is what's going to be able to determine. Hey, is this something that you really want to play? I feel like it's going to help you out.
That's right. And first, before we do anything, I think I need to break down what this game is. What do you think about that, Gino?
Go ahead, man. Tell us what it's about. Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. Wait, I got some music here. There we go. Shadow of the Colossus Shadow of the Colossus is a 2005 action-adventure game that follows a young man named Wander, who enters an isolated and abandoned region of the realm, seeking power to revive a girl named Mono. The game is a bittersweet cautionary tale that slowly reveals its moral conflict as the game progresses. Wander takes Mono to the god Dorman, who promises to resurrect her if Wander kills 16 Colossi roaming the land. Dude, and there's some dark lore behind this. If you look at Dorman's name backwards is Nimrod from the Bible.
What?
Yeah, so
I
that's...
did not know that.
Yeah, so like, you know, each time when you kill a Colossus and you talk to the thing that's up in the sky,
Yeah.
and it's a girl's voice and a guy's voice both talking, and it's like, whoa, blah, 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 blah. So
you
that's
hear it every
Dorman.
time, yeah.
Yeah, so that's Dorman. And yeah, so
It's funny how you look into the sky and you kind of see the light, and yeah, I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So after that kind of background, that's one thing that I like about this game, Shadow of Colossus, is that they don't just like tell you everything up front. They do a lot of world building, and I'm going to talk about that in my review. But that was kind of the short synopsis of the game. You're a guy named Wander, and you take your beloved, I'm guessing, to this place to try to revive her. And deep in the lore, if you don't know, she was actually a sacrifice. They sacrificed her is why she's dead in the first place.
I was wondering about that. What was the reason that she was even dead in the first place?
Yeah,
you know?
it's really
unalived. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, she was unalive. So I think behind the lore, if I was reading in the wiki, some was talking about how she was destined for some great evil, so they sacrificed her, which is like, who are you to like determine that anyway? There seems to be some weird stuff going on, and you kind of find out some more once you get to the end of the game. I won't spoil it for people, but it's definitely worth it to kind of like see how all that plays out. So the key features of this game is you're in the Forbidden Land. This is an open world, dude. Open world in PlayStation 2. Like, it's where you must search for each Colossus to defeat, along with your horse Agaro. And his name is Agaro, actually. And you hear it often over and over. Huh?
I said, say it right, like it says it on the sound.
Agaro. It sounds like this.
Agro.
Agaro. It sounds like that.
There you go.
Dude, it's crazy and awesome. So there's a mixture of exploration, action, and puzzle gameplay. And what's cool about it, I've already talked about before, you kind of like go into this a bit blind. You don't know what's going on, and you're having to figure things out, almost building your own story as you go along. So it's really cool. Do you have anything to add to that?
I just think the one thing I know that you kind of say, and I kind of touch on it a little bit when it comes to my GG rating.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say much about it, but when you say it's open world, I kind of have a little difference on that, but I'll say that for my GG rating. But I completely agree. You said it perfectly with a mixture of exploration, action, and puzzle gameplay. I think that hits it right on the spot.
And I'm going to go into kind of like what the gameplay looks like and stuff in my review. That's why I haven't talked about it yet. Like, what is this game? Like, what are you even doing? Basically, you're climbing these giant Colossus, trying to find weak points on this body so that you can take them down. And if you take down all the Colossus, the god Dorman has promised you to revive the girl. So her name's Mono. But anyway,
Mono.
Yeah,
Isn't mono like a cold or something?
I know that's what I was thinking. It kind of sounds like I have mono right now.
Nobody wants mono.
No, I have like, I don't know. I got some throat stuff going on and some drainage, so that's why I sound so funny.
Through it. Fighting through it. I like it. Like the dedication. Trying to get you this rating right now today because it is needed.
Have just a little touch of whiskey helps, and that's what I got right here. But anyways,
that apple juice.
Yeah, apple juice whiskey, sure. So I'm gonna go into a little bit more of this game. I'm gonna go right into my breakdown of my rating if that's cool with you, unless there's something else
Yeah.
you want to add, buddy.
No, I'll get to mine after yours. But yeah,
All
I'm
right.
interested to see what you thought about it.
All right, let's get it.
Let's go!
Let's go. All right, graphics. What they were able to do with this in PlayStation 2 era is incredible. The way they made the Colossi move and how everything looks at scale is really amazing. There's a reason why this game has been remastered so many times. The foundation they had to work with was an easy decision. A game that looks this good can just keep looking better as our technology for textures and graphical output increases. I'm grading for PS2 graphics, though. This is one of the most impressive PS2 games out there. I'm going to say it again. This is one of the most impressive PS2 games out there. I give it a solid 9.5. A 10 if the environment was a little more flushed out. I know you see deserts, wooded areas, and water areas,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a lot of area without foliage and just needs a little extra to make it pop. So still incredible.
I agree with you on that. Absolutely.
Yep.
So 9.5 for the graphics.
9.5 for graphics, and I'm grading on a PlayStation 2 scale here.
Okay,
And
got you. That
it's like,
should be
wow.
noted.
And I'm gonna play a little bit more of the music here. While I go over the music portion. So this is one of the main themes that you hear as you're fighting the Colossus or Colossi.
Play that track.
Yeah. So this is one of the main ones, and what's cool about it too, I'm gonna see if I can find it. After you defeat one, it goes into let me see if it goes into it. Now,
So who is the composer for the music?
yeah,
Do you know?
so the composer is Kao Atani. He's a Japanese composer. He is best known for creating the soundtrack for the Heisei Gamera trilogy, Godzilla.
You said that pretty good. Yeah.
He did some Godzilla. He did Mothra and King Ghidorah, giant monsters, all out attack. Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, dude. He worked on Mobile
What?
Suit Gundam Wing. Yes, and Shadow of the Colossus. Musical themes for the game's individual colossi. According to Yuda, one of the challenges of the music's production was to incorporate compositions whose melody and structure would adapt in response to the changing circumstances of gameplay events. And just to break that down, after you defeat a Titan, the music changes and it sounds really sad, but it like flows perfectly out of that main theme that I just played. It sounds really sad and then it goes into like hopeful, and it gives you a crazy feeling of like, man, this is sad that I took down this like almost like innocent Titan, but then again, it's hopeful because I'm one step closer to bringing back my girl here. So that part tells a story in itself. That's some powerful music direction, in my opinion. Once understanding what the music is about and how it was put into practice, I give it a solid 9. Solid 9.
I agree with that. The music is very strong in this game.
Yeah, it is. It suits the material in an incredible way. But can't really hold its own by itself. I think it's like there's a lot of time where you don't hear any music too, and I think that's good. You just hear a lot of ambience and a lot of just like atmospheric stuff. But if you were to listen to this on a soundtrack, I don't think it's 10 level. I think it fits the material, and that's why I give it a 9 and not higher.
All right, so you got a 9 for the music. So
yep.
With the music. So just to go back, you had a 9.5 for the graphics, 9 for the music. So what you think about the story?
Okay. So without looking into Wikipedia, you get the sense that this hero Wander has lost someone he loved, Mono. So he takes her to this forbidden temple to resurrect her using the help of a being called Dorman. Come to find out after reading Wikipedia, she was sacrificed, which is pretty messed up and brings up a host of other questions. I love, though, that the game does not include a lot of dialogue except for Dorman and later some others, which is spoilers. But our main hero calls his horse, and that's about it. Otto, Otto.
Limitations of PS2, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's amazing how it is able to convey such a powerful story using these huge monsters and world building. I gotta say, I love it, man. I give it an 8.5 because it feels unfinished and maybe has too many questions. So I'd like to
Okay,
see more of this.
8.5. That's still kind of strong though,
Hmm.
because it sucks you in with the story. I would think, right?
Yeah, it definitely does, and it's most of that is because I want to see more from this world. It's
Yeah,
like it was
yeah.
left like, okay, what now?
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair. All right. So you got 9.5 for the graphics, 9 for the music, and now you have an 8.5 for the story.
yep.
So we're going to go into the gameplay, which I always feel
Gameplay.
is the most important on a game. But you
Yep.
tell me what you think.
So this one, I had a lot of thoughts on it. So just remember, it isn't necessarily how fun it is. It's more of a breakdown how the gameplay has been synthesized, like how it was created, how it moves, how it acts, how it's been compiled, and what the end result looks like and feels like. There's a real sense of sorrow as you take down these Colossus, which brings up a powerful theme as you go through the game. Resurrecting your beloved while sacrificing what seems to be innocent Colossus who were minding their own business. After you take each one down, you're
Yes,
back.
John. Yes, Gray. Yes. That says exact. Okay, I'll let you
Uh-huh.
finish, but yes, yes.
Yeah, man. After you take each one down, you're back at the temple and can just sit there and look at your lady laying there as the wind blows, and the realization of what you have to do sets in. The gameplay loop is satisfying and just creates another layer of the narrative that really gets you invested. Climbing the Colossi is a really cool experience, especially because of the variety of creatures you encounter. Stamina is your friend, and finding ways to regain it without having to start the climb over is crucial to success. Interacting with the environment and working out the puzzle of how to continue in areas is very rewarding when you figure it out. Strictly gameplay speaking, it's incredible what they've built here. Really special, and the physics are crazy. You get such a sense of scale and speed with those behemoths. Gameplay is special and unique, if not for some frustrations with controls at times. It might be a 10, but I got to give it a 9.5 for what they've built.
Okay.
So it's really incredible, man, and all the different things you do during the gameplay is really incredible.
So you named some specific stuff just to kind of go back over.
Mm-hmm.
You're really into. I know we talked about them making you kind of feel that sorrow whenever you defeat a
Mm-hmm.
colossi. Um, but in reference to finding different ways to keep your stamina and everything, I think is definitely need to be duly noted
Yeah.
on this game because it's a
This
big
dude's
thing.
got some crazy grip strength, bro. Like he can hang on for dear
He's
life,
got to
man.
be in shape. He has got to
Yeah,
be in the best shape ever.
he's in good
Um,
shape.
But so you said 9.5, right? But could have been a 10 if it wasn't
Yeah.
for the controls of that PS2 era, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that are a bit clunky, and I
Yeah.
don't know. There could be some more stuff that you unlock as you progress in the game. That would be cool too.
Yeah.
But as far as what they built and what you do with it, it feels really flushed out.
Okay. So 9.5 for the gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
8.5 for the story, 9 for the music, and 9.5 for the graphics.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say ahead of time there's no multiplayer, right? It's a single player game, correct?
Right. No
So we're
multiplayer,
not
so that's
so we're
that's
not
not
going to
graded.
rate that. No.
Right. So
So
I'll.
the last category,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I know, will be the fun factor, right?
Fun factor. So this one was tough for me, man, because by itself, without all the other things, the gameplay, like, I was rating the gameplay just on its own merits. And the fun factor is different because it's not your classic fun game you would think of, you know. It's really fun for me because of the sheer awe of it all. I'd say it's more rewarding once you get past the frustration of exactly what in the heck you're supposed to do. The fun factor for me is at 8.5. Fun
Okay.
isn't the word I would use for this game. It's more of an experience that feels important and worth having. I feel I have matured as a gamer after playing this game. Back when it was new and now revisiting it, it's very much appreciated. If there was another rating of like all factor, I would give it a 10. So I'm doing a bonus rating for all factor and I'm giving it all in wonder a 10, baby. So
The
when
all
you
in wonder 10.
yeah.
It's like the all in mighty. This is the
Yeah.
ultimate rating, a 10.
Yes.
Give me a 10.
Yes, all in wonder's a 10, man. This isn't your classic fun game. It's like it's more. It makes you wiser for playing it. So my GG rating, a solid 9 with a caveat. Nostalgia
Okay.
makes it even higher for me. This game means a lot to me. One of my favorites ever made. It's on my list of top 5. Even though I say a
Okay.
9, it's a 10 in my heart. So
I figured it was kind of up on your list when I asked you what game should we rate, should we play, and immediately within like 5 seconds, just Shadow of the Colossus. So
yes.
that's pretty good. So solid. We're gonna go. The GG rating for Gray will be a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I like that rating, man.
Go!
That's right, baby. 9 out of
Let's
10.
go. So with you knocking that out with a 9, I know you're kind of the veteran, I guess you want to say, for Shadow of the Colossus. You played it back in the day, right?
Yep.
And I kind of am new to this, right? So I think I should let them know as a newbie how I feel coming straight fresh into this and give my GG rating.
Yes, now it's time for Gino's GG rating.
Game not over.
All right, so I'm going to go straight into it. Went over what it's kind of like, what your take on it. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about it and try not to bore everybody with the same kind of details. But obviously, the graphics still look good today. That's a big thing because when you play these older games, sometimes you're going to get where you can't even stand the graphics. It's not going to look as good as in 2023, right? And recording. I have to disagree with you with the open world concept. I think it's kind of open world. I'm sorry. Let me kind of refresh. Yes, it's kind of open world, definitely back on PS2 era, but I feel like it's more of a linear open world where it keeps you in a certain spot, kind of like a Halo Infinite of 2020, right? It's not open world, but it's huge areas to play. I think that it's a very artistic nature to this story that they have, and I think it's because you have Japan Studio is actually one of the developers for this game back in 2005. I feel like if they had more environment on it, I kind of agree with you on that. Like I remember there's like a little lizard or something that runs around every once in a while when you're riding on the horse.
Yeah, and you can actually kill those things, and I think you get more stamina or something. I didn't ever do that, but I've killed a few of them and didn't really notice anything happen. But I think they actually have a like a purpose to them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but I was looking, I was like, oh, I can imagine seeing a whole bunch of animals and stuff in like a PlayStation 5 era, But like you said, it was developed in 2005. Japan Studio and Team Ico developed it. It was published by Sony. The game graphics, going back to the graphics, it really takes the PS2 to the next level. I feel like it pushes the limits. It's still playable in 2023, as I stated. It's the one of the two highlights I say on the game, the graphics, and I feel like the story. I wouldn't say story. The gameplay is more the second highlight of that game. Even they have straight edge 3D person model, so the models of the person is kind of that straight edge, but that 3D model of that PS2 era, it still looks kind of detailed, and I really appreciate that when I'm playing that with the graphics. So I'll give the graphics, because it's PS2, I'm kind of strict on that, is 7.5 for the graphics.
Nice.
But even though, because I know I love it, but I have to remember it's not top notch, right?
I gotcha.
So 7.5 for the graphics. Now go into the music. I know you hit on it a lot. You play some music. The thing I just want to know, one thing on the music that I really liked is whenever you're facing a boss, a Colossus, it kind of gets you hyped, right? And it kind of keeps you going. Even if you fall off the Colossus, like you're like, okay, I can't stop because of the music. The music kind of keeps you going, and you find yourself, even if it takes an hour to try to beat this boss. So I think the music keeps your attention in the game, and I believe it makes the game even better. So I do give the music a 9.2.
It is epic, isn't it? I got some of it playing right now. It is epic.
And it makes me feel even better with that rating, that I gave it such a high rating, just knowing and finding out that there was a Gundam Wing artist that he made the Gundam Wing music too, which is, I love Gundam Wing. We watched him when we was younger, so that even makes it even better. I should shoot it up even more. But anyways, 9.2 for the music. Nice. The story. I believe the story is kind of well known to me. I don't really like it too much because it's a guy, or how it's usually known, a prince usually saves a princess. In this case, it's Wander takes Mono, which is the princess, to a god, right? And tries to save her, which is the Mario Peach thing, Bro. And it's just like, I've seen it so many times.
That's such a good perspective on it, because now it makes me think they should have showed more detail.
Yes.
Like you have a completely different take on it that I kind of agree with.
Yes. So I feel like he has to beat the bosses, just like I keep relating to Mario because it's so well known with Mario, right? You have to beat the bosses to save the princess at the end, right? Which is 16 Colossi at this point. So I give the story a 6, man, because it's something I've seen. It's something that wasn't new, and they kind of adapted to it. Yes, they tell in a different way, but I have to say, I like the artistic nature, but I give the story a 6.
Okay.
So the gameplay. Going into a little bit of the gameplay, as I said, was one of the two things that stand out so much on this game. I believe the gameplay really shows when you're finding not only just one tactic to beat the Colossus, but you're finding new ways to beat them on different Colossus. It's not the same thing every time. It kind of is. It's kind of hard to explain and not to give a lot away, but you find new things that you have to do to climb up this Colossus and beat them each time. It should also be noted how big the bosses are and how they walk slow, just like a huge, a troll or something like that would be walking. And it's just so, when they slam down, it just shakes the whole screen, and just like, it's amazing to me. It just gives you the whole immersive feel.
That's really good.
The gameplay, the game can be really challenging. Okay, if you fall, it just, like I said earlier, what you stated, it makes you want to rip your hair out, but you get right back on trying to beat it again. The thing I hated the most about the game, and Gray, I'm sure you can relay on this, how frustrated I was, is I started off the game. I started on the Steam Deck, and when you get done, I'll go ahead and tell you, because it's at the very beginning. It's not going to be much of a spoiler, but you have a sword, and you hold the sword up, and it points a light in a direction. It tells you where to go. Well, the first place I go to is a little dead end surrounded by mountains, and the camera scrolls up and looks at the top of the mountain, and that's it. Like, there's nothing telling you to climb. There's nothing telling you to do anything. So at this point, I'm looking around thinking that it's like a Zelda kind of moment that you have to stand on something and maybe a door open up and you go through the mountain. But I spent 30 minutes trying to figure that out, not knowing you have to climb. Now, you got to remember, I've never played this game. I didn't know it had to do with climbing or anything like that. I've heard about it, but, so I go into a forest to the right on the horse. I get lost in the forest. So, guys, next thing you know, I get so frustrated. I'm like, this guy recommended this game. I can't even find the first boss, so So I'm texting Gray, and I'm like, Gray, I'm so pissed off right now. Like, I don't know what to do. So what I did is I looked at the walkthrough and I found out you had to climb. And once you do that, it kind of gets you to the point of, okay, the game's about climbing. Okay, you got to climb. Right. You got to keep your stamina. And from that point on, I do have to say, it definitely works out. And I actually had grown to love the gameplay. So it just does not give you much direction, kind of what you ended on.
That is a relief, because I was so scared that you were going to hate it after that, because we even talked about it, how like back in the day, the game came with a manual that you could kind of flip through and thumb through to kind of get an idea. And you went into it totally cold, brother.
Yes.
But that's so awesome that it turned around for you.
It did. So I give the story a 6, Gray. A 6. I have to give it 6 based on the prince and princess gameplay, and I give the gameplay a 9. So the story is 6, gameplay a 9.
Nice.
No multiplayer, obviously, so we're not going to scale that. So let's go into the last one, the fun factor. Okay. I believe it's fun in a challenging way. If you have at least 1 to 2 hours of chill time of just being able to finish it, because I feel like I'm a person that once I start something, I kind of want to finish it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're going to want to finish it to beat a boss, a Colossi. Yeah. And then, hey, once you beat the Colossi, you can put it down and you can come back and go to the next one, right? So on that factor, I give the fun factor based on, hey, you know what to expect. It's challenging as well because it's got that puzzle aspect to it. I give it a 9 out of 10 for the fun factor.
That's good.
So overall, my GG rating for the game is a 8.14.
Let's
for
go.
Shadow of the Colossus. Fresh game, first time playing it.
Okay.
8.14. 8.14.
Okay, so dude, you went down to the decimal point. I think mine's like a 9 point something, 9.1 something.
Okay. So if you round it up, you can say an 8. We'll go with an 8. But 8.14, I think it's
good.
Pretty good. Now I'm basing it on I'm taking in consideration. I want to make sure I point this out. I'm not judging it on the newer AAA games. I'm judging it on PS2 era graphics that we have, right?
Sure.
And I feel like it's
honestly, I think that's pretty good considering that you don't have all the nostalgia that I do. Like, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I thought you were gonna maybe do it lower, like I wasn't sure, but come on, Shadow Colossus, yeah.
Yes. You have officially made me a fan. I will tell you that.
That's awesome. Yay. I'm so excited.
You made me a fan.
Dude, that's so good. That's a great rating and a great review, Gino. Really enjoyed that.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Well, awesome. So that's our GG ratings. 9 point something and a 8.14. Excellent, guys. Excellent. And if you average those up, let's just say mine's a 9.14. Where's my calculator? I'm going to do it live because of math. Let's see. 9.14 plus 8.14 divided by 2.
No, don't mess up now.
8.64.
Hey, I think that's
dude.
You want it higher. I can tell you want it higher.
I do.
But you gotta
want
remember
it lower,
that.
maybe.
I know, I do. I'll say this: the reason is you got something I kind of brung up, the story, right? Like you when you think about it in your head now, do you like, oh yeah, it kind of does seem like that.
Yeah, the story,
and that's what brung my score down so much. I think was the same old story that we have now. Then you kind of said it yourself. Tell me if you think this. Mm-hmm. You wanted more detail in the story.
At the same time, it was cool to not have the detail, but it's like they did all this world building and then they didn't tell you all the detail at the end like I would want. You know? So it's like, man, there needs to be a sequel, honestly.
Oh, I'm with you on that 100%. I feel like a sequel would be epic. So,
gosh, I hope they do.
But that's a good GG rating, I think. I think that's fair.
Dude, it was awesome. So awesome. That was so fun to do. I really enjoyed that. That was cool. So, let's go into the bonus news.
Game not over.
All right, so the bonus. I just like listening to all these sounds. That's awesome. So these breaks are epic as well. Okay, so the bonus news. Okay, I got something coming your way involving, I don't know if you've seen it or you heard of it, but the PS5 Slim model. They did a revision on a PS4 Slim right back in the day. Now they're looking at a new one for the reports are coming out and leaks are coming out of the PS5 Slim. Apparently, a photo has got leaked that shows a PS5, and obviously I can't show the leaked footage because we will get copyright striked immediately. Yeah. But it shows a PS5 possibly from a warehouse being leaked. It shows a new version of the PS5. Formerly, it was leaked on X, formerly Twitter, via BWE_dev. The video shows a hand holding and waving the console back and forth. It's uncertain exactly what this new model PS5 is, but it could be rumored a PS5 Slim. Even though it does not look much smaller than the PS5 in this video, we can't confirm this leak or vouch for the reliability of this leaker. So take this with a grain of salt, but there's a line in the middle of this PS5 Slim, and I feel like the big rumor that's been going around for about a year or two now since this came out is they're not having a hard drive, not a hard drive, but a disk drive in the model. So you can buy it separately, and I feel like you can take off half of that cover and slip a disk drive into it if you want to buy that separately. So it's going to be digital only first, and then you can add a disk drive if you need to for an extra charge. Do you think that's something that they need to do with the disk drive, or do you think that they need to just go straight digital at this point?
At this point, especially with a Slim model, I'd say straight digital. And I'd also say that when they launch this thing, they need to launch it with Shadow of Colossus 2. And just like drop the mic on everybody.
I see what you did there. I like that.
It would be great, dude.
Well, guys, that's the bonus news. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Tell us in the comments. Tell us what you think. If you believe that this leak is a confirmed leak, if you think this is actually a PS5 Slim about to be announced. So,
yeah, dude, great. I love capping this off with some Sony news for a Sony game. I was such a Sony fanboy back in the day.
Oh,
and
yes.
Got so much sweet nostalgia built up with them. So that's really good.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Dude, I really enjoyed this episode.
Oh, same here, man. I think that everybody's going to get something out of this episode and get something out of this game. And if you haven't tried it, guys, try Shadow of the Colossus. Take Gray's advice like I did, especially if you haven't played it. Start from scratch. Do know that you have to climb, though, at the dead end. I just want to throw that out there. But other than that, great game. I hope you get something out of it.
I hope you guys do, too. I hope it's a good game that you enjoy. Thanks for listening to GGRated.
Have a good one, guys.
Agro!